everyone, welcome to another VPN chat. I am excited about this episode because not only is this person an actress that I have worked with, but she's also a classmate of mine. So she's known me since way, way back in our Davidson Fine Arts days. I
Yeah,
present to you Miss Joya Moore. How you doing today, Joya?
I'm doing amazing. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm so excited to be talking with you. First of all, it's been a long time since we actually like seen each other. Like
Hmm.
I of course we talk every now and again on social media, but this is the first time we're actually having a conversation. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. Life is.
Yes. Yeah, I hear you. Definitely life is definitely real life for sure.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about of course, as I introduced, we both went to Davidson Fine Arts together. We're in separate classes though. I'm 04, you're 05.
Yep.
And so I just remember our first interaction was in geometry
Mm-hmm.
in,
Miss
in, in Miss Pruitt's
Pruitt.
class.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. Miss Pruitt. Yes.
we was having a time with them proofs
Oh my God.
and then whatever the other stuff was. I don't even remember the rest of it, but I just know we was just having a time.
Yes, definitely having a time. And I mean, I remember and I was a good student, but I do remember getting in trouble, like not doing my homework one night, or that looks like a traumatic memory. She was like, "Oh, you're gonna see," and I was like not doing good in the class at all. But it got me together. It got me together. So we used to just have so much fun. We
We
had some.
did. We used to be making up songs.
Oh my God, we were truly fine arts kids
Yes,
for
yes.
sure.
You know
Yeah.
what's funny? So Tiffany Hobbs was recently at because I work at WJBF, and
Okay. Yeah.
Tiffany Hobbs was recently there. She left not too long ago to go pursue acting.
Okay.
And so it was funny was I was gonna bring up the songs we used to make up. I was like, let me not embarrass this girl at work.
Oh, man, thank God you didn't do that, Lord. You would be the one to remember, I don't even remember the songs, not all of them, but or most of them. I just know we used to just be so silly, and hey, we
Just
was
yeah, man. But it
we
was a
was
time. It was a time though. I like I said, I tell people all the time, I miss Davidson. I don't miss the work, but I
Mhm.
miss the spirit of
Yeah.
Davidson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely that was definitely a time, a space that was despite some of the, things that, when you become an adult, you look back and go, "Hmm," but it's
Hmm.
like as children, I felt like we just had so much energy, and, we got to just be free,
Hmm.
and, it's like, I wish that all kids that's the type of space that all children should be in, a space where they can learn academically, but also explore, other parts of their personality to just kinda figure out who they are and what they wanna be. Mhm.
I agree,
Yeah.
1000%. Now, today, well, when this episode comes out, it won't be the day of, but today I'm actually um remembering this is the day I found out that I had leukemia
Mhm.
22 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
So
Wow.
I was like I said, it happened my sophomore year, so that would be your freshman year. Um, do you like remember if they like made an announcement or like if y'all were told or like do you remember anything about that? Cause like
Yeah.
here's the thing. I plan on doing a documentary, but I want to get people who were in my life then to talk about their side of the story because
Yeah.
I don't know what took place. Like clearly, I'm in the hospital, so I don't know what's going on. But I'm curious to hear if anybody remembers like what happened
Mhm.
like during that time.
Yeah. I don't recall an announcement being made. That doesn't mean that one wasn't made. But I just remember one day very specifically, and I guess maybe a few days after you found out, and it was some of our classmates were in the hallway and they were visibly distraught, very, very upset. And I remember a few of us asking what was going on, and they told us that, you found out that you had leukemia. And it's I think my first time. experiencing someone who was like young like me, experiencing a very serious illness like that. I don't think, I mean, it's been 22 years for me too, and I still vividly remember just like how unnerving it was, how unsettling it was, how upset a lot of us were. And we didn't really know like what it meant per se, outside of
Hmm.
that it was serious. Um, and then I remember like you coming back to school, and we all knew, I don't know if I knew, like, whether you were completely, like, better, but I remember wondering and, like, just not saying anything, and, like, I remember just wanting to make sure that you were, like, you felt like you could still be a kid. I
Hmm.
do remember that, like, I remember because it changed your appearance for a while, right?
Yep. Yep.
I do remember that, like, I remember just, like, not wanting you to feel like we were handling you like, so taking it seriously, but also, like, not handling you, like you weren't still our homeboy, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I remember that, I do remember that
Yeah.
part. I remember you meeting Will Smith, um, with, like, Make-A-Wish, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
that. So I remember thinking that that was, like, really cool, and I think that's the first time maybe that I even knew about the Make-A-Wish Foundation,
Hmm.
and, like, what they did. So it just, like, brought these things that usually feel very far away, to, like, in our world, in that type of way. That's what I remember. Mhm.
Got you. So I'm definitely gonna be calling you for the documentary.
Okay.
Like, 'cause no, like
I
that's
do.
I'm so I'm grateful to hear stories like that because like I've always wondered how that impacted you guys. Like I said again, like we're like you said, we're all for people. I mean, when you're in school, of course, you're cool with people with you're cool with, but at Davidson, it was different. First of all,
Yeah.
it wasn't a lot of us,
No, it wasn't.
and so it's like we literally because most classes they had like 300, 400 people. Like
Mhm.
our class is like 80, 90.
100. Yep.
Yeah.
100 at best is like 96. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So,
Mhm.
like I said, it's like we were really everybody was like it was Davidson was definitely like a family, like for
Yeah.
sure,
Was. Yep.
1000%. So yeah, I thank you for sharing that. Like I said, I'm interested in just learning more about how other people felt, you know.
Yeah. You
So I'm
should
gonna
definitely
tell you,
more of
yeah,
our classmates because I'm sure they all had their own, perspectives. But yeah, I'm sure
yeah.
there's a lot of us who remember, just kind of that journey and being curious and but not, all the things I just said, I'm sure and more.
Yeah, because even like even when I was doing my podcast, like there are still like even holes in my memory. Like there are things I don't remember. Like I said, it's like either I blocked it out
Yeah.
or I just don't recall.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I say I don't
but
recall a lot, and obviously that's just for, I think we're just at that age in life. Also, of course, you have other experiences, but it's like, I don't recall that. It's in there. From my understanding of memory, it's in there, but if you can't recall it, it feels like it's gone, but it's not necessarily gone. Yeah.
right, right.
Mhm.
So I told this story too in the podcast. I'm gonna tell you this because it kind of affects you, kind of doesn't.
Okay.
So I had a meeting. So my 11th grade year, my junior year, I missed a lot of school because obviously I was dealing with my thing. There was like a bad sickness going on, so I couldn't be at school a lot.
Oh, wow.
Um, so I missed a lot of schoolwork, and so they ended up having a meeting with Miss Williams and all my teachers,
Mhm.
and so they actually suggested that I graduated a year later.
Mm.
They was trying to put me with y'all.
Yeah.
And oh, no offense to the '05 folks. I love y'all.
But you were oh
But
04.
I've been saying '04 since 7th grade. I was like, I'm not.
Exactly. Exactly.
I've
And
been trying. I'm trying to explain to people on the podcast. I was like, that stuff was serious to us at Davidson. Like
very
because
serious.
we didn't have sports, so
Correct.
we had something we had to cling to. So
Right.
our
Right.
class our class years was something serious.
It was, and it started from, like, like you said, since 7th grade. For me, it was 6th grade, and,
Mhm.
we're and it was a part of the culture. So,
Yep.
like, I mean, I feel like I even carried that with me through college, even my master's. Like, I was thinking about getting another degree. I was like, "Mm-mm, I wanna graduate with my classmates." When I look back, I'm like, "Girl, you got better." But I was like, "Mm-mm." But, it might have been because of Davidson. But yeah, that would have been weird, and it would have been, you would have been accepted, but it wouldn't have it would have been you would have always felt like that's '05. I'm '05 too, but really I'm '04, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Mm,
think I would've like, I think even I of course, I would've went to the graduation, but I think I would've been sad. I'd have been
sure.
like, "Oh," you know what I'm saying? But no, I
Yeah.
was like, I told them, and I told them that day, I was like, "Nah, we not gonna do that. We're gonna figure it out." So for people who don't know, they're gonna listen to this twice 'cause I said it in the podcast. I actually was doing my junior work my senior year.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
I was doing my that first semester of my senior year, I was doing stuff that I missed my junior year. So I was doing like double work.
Wow. But you made it happen.
Praise the Lord.
Listen, God is good. You were determined.
Listen, I was like, y'all not about to take this away from me. Y'all can take a
Yeah.
many of things, but
Yeah.
y'all not gonna take my class from me. That's not happening.
I mean, that's very determined because our schoolwork was so hard. You know what I mean? We
Okay.
all like honors level classwork. That's so crazy and dope that you did that.
Thank you. Yeah. Like I said, glory to God and shout out to Miss Williams and Miss Overstreet because
Yeah.
I definitely always give Miss Williams and Miss Overstreet. They literally was like pushing me to like,
Wow.
you can do that. You can do it, and we're gonna make sure that you graduate on time.
Yeah. That
So,
place, I mean, it truly was a gift in terms of setting us up for academic excellence. You know,
hmm
like they really did push us. And so it's like I know when I went to college, I was, like that work was easy for me. I was like, I've been doing this since 10th grade. Like, give me the hard class. I literally was like, I need to be in the honors stuff and take harder classes because they was like, this is light work. So they did prepare us to be scholarly for sure.
yeah, I think, like I said, despite like you said, all the stuff that you learn as an adult, I
Right.
think despite all of that, there was definitely a lot of good that came from us being at Davidson.
For sure.
And but I agree with you 100%. I feel like all schools should have that type of excellence. I feel like that every school should be able to equip their students
Right.
to do the same things that we were able to do.
Correct. Funding. Let's
Yes. Come on.
talk about funding.
Get into it.
Let's
So also so basically me and you had opportunity to work together on a Victor Productions project
mhm,
called The Lyons Den. You came in and you played Felicia, you were
mhm.
AJ's little sister, and you was giving Keisha hell, child.
Business.
You give her the business. But yeah,
I
you came in. I loved you and Chantel's chemistry. It was just such a y'all was just so dynamic together. And then even the scenes with you and my sister, y'all had scenes together too. So it's like you were literally like the epitome of why people don't go to church. Your
Oh,
character.
man.
Your character, you know what I'm saying? Because Felicia was mean.
Yes, yes, yes. That is so crazy, like, considering, like, who I am in real life now. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Whoo, glad I acted." That was just me acting. Somebody sees it later and be like, "Is that Reverend Joya?" Like, that I was like
No, no, no. She's acting. She's definitely acting.
Yeah, yeah. No, you know what? I'm so grateful for that opportunity, that, you allowed me. I, like, remember, I think we went to your dad's church for something.
hmm
Um,
Yeah.
it's so crazy how your memory, like, comes back. Like, I remember being on, not Tobacco Road, what's that road? Peach Orchard Road, like, driving down, and I think
hmm
left down to get to the church. But it was such an honor. It really was. And at that time I was still acting. So any type of experience and credits that I could get, I was just so humbled to do it. Yeah. It was a good experience. I remember just like how professional you were. And like how you had it together. Like you're someone who I believe people will be like, "Oh, I know Carlton." Once you know what I'm saying? And it'll be like, "But you wasn't with me shooting in the gym." Not I don't wanna be negative,
Nah,
but you
I hear you.
I
I hear
just
you.
I just so that I would make it a positive thing. I just believe that you can fly. I believe that you've put in the work, and that your work is excellent, and that you are grinding. I just, like, watch you not give up, and I'm certain there were many days where you were like, "Bruh, like, Lord, did you call me to this thing? Listen." But I'm just so, like, honored to be a part of that journey because I really do watch you and I'm just inspired by how you've just stuck to it. And it's clearly your passion. And then you've allowed your talents to like not just be in one space, but it's like a comic book. Like, sir, you just like I just want to say that to you. Like, I'm honored. That's why when you asked me to do this, I was like, I'm honored to do it, and I've been recently saying my new favorite word is no.
Yeah,
Um,
I know.
my schedule is just so aggressive. And so, but no, I was just really, really, really honored. And have been just to watch you. It's a lot of people, that may be further along, but
Mm,
they may not necessarily have the heart. And what has been abundantly clear to me is that you have the heart and you're very professional. Like I just remember how professional you were and how you didn't, when I'm like, can I please do that again? Can I shoot that again? You're like, let's go. Okay, it's cool. You allowed us to find it.
yeah.
And a lot of directors, be like, it's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't care how you feel. If they like it, it's fine, you know? So
Yeah. I just appreciate you. Like I said, I appreciate you really just hanging in there with me. Like I said again, just even looking back, it's like a lot of times, like I'm learning as we're going. You know what I'm saying? Even though I do have the Davidson training, I did, I have a degree in college, but it's nothing like actually having the experience. And so once you're like really doing your own thing with not really a lot of guidance, it's like
yeah,
you're just trying to figure it out. And I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that really has stuck with me through me
yeah.
basically learning. I'm basically learning
Yeah,
on the go. You know what I'm saying? So
all
I
are.
appreciate that.
Yeah. We all are literally learning on the go. It's
Yes.
it's so any artist, will probably tell you that. Like, I see that on social media all the time. People will be like, "That's a secret. Nobody knows what they do." You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? You just have to have the confidence to fail. Like, you have to be okay that if it doesn't land, you get up and you try again. And that's.
absolutely.
Mhm,
And that's my motto. Like I said, my favorite verse is Philippians 4:13.
mhm,
For I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so
mhm,
I shorten that when I say grow as you go.
mhm,
That's
mhm.
that's that's my thing. I tell people that that's my motto. You grow as you go. That's just life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. It is just
definitely.
life. It is just
Yeah. I definitely want to move into the next segment. I want to talk about you being in ministry.
life.
I first of all, I think that's such a beautiful thing. I love your now you talk about me, I love your journey. Like not like I said, it wasn't like you was like out there, but I'm just like for me knowing you since we were kids to see where you are now, and I love the way you're just so encouraging and you're so inspirational and you're using your platform, your social media platform to uplift. It's such a powerful and inspiring thing. And I want to definitely give you your flowers on that because I look forward to your post. I'm like, I need her to put a word on this book of faces today so I can be uplifted. Because no, but seriously, I really I'm so proud of you. And I'm just like I said again, your growth is so inspiring. I want to talk about what, obviously the Lord led you, but like what can you talk about your journey as far as like getting into ministry?
Sure, sure, sure. So I would say it started when I was little.
Mhm,
Um, I tell people when people say like, "What's your call story?" I remember being maybe 7 or 8 years old at a little church in Augusta, And I say little because it wasn't a mega church. It was like a traditional small Black Baptist church.
Right.
Um, I remember when people would join the church, how emotional I would get. I always was just like, just had deep faith. I always like like in my memory, I remember being touched by someone joining the church. And I think that I just continue on my own journey, getting to know God for myself. And maybe, let's see, maybe my early 20s, I think I began to feel like a tug, right?
Mm,
And for me, it really was still me just being on my own journey. It wasn't like, oh, I just felt like I need to be in church. So I would be, I remember I would be at regular Bible study. Sometimes I would go to noon and at 7. I would go to women's Bible study. I was going to young adult Bible study. I was volunteering. Like I was always at the church because I really just wanted to be immersed in the faith.
mhm,
Um, every time I went, I left, I felt like I was better, smarter, more, just understood things, and I felt like I needed guidance in life, because I wasn't someone who had a lot of life experiences, and so the faith for me was showing me how to be, was giving me, like, tools and, like, instructions and all that good stuff,
mhm,
and then, I think when I moved to North Carolina, well, we're actually before I moved to North Carolina at church, one of someone who I consider like my big sister mentor, she told me one day we were in like women's, because I was also going to Sunday school, we were in our women's Sunday school class. She asked me to pray, and and I was so nervous. I prayed, and when I was done praying, everybody, like, not everybody, but a good number of women in the room were just like, "You a preacher. You a preacher. You call you." It was like this really surreal moment for me.
mhm,
I had started to feel it, but I just, for people to say it was like crazy. So then, I moved to North Carolina. It was more of that. I remember being at church and seeing the ministers operating, and being the ones who would like invite people to join and all that. And I remember feeling like I'm supposed to be up there. Like I'm supposed that's that and I started to feel like deep sadness about, and part of that was because the way my job was set up, I worked 3 of the 4 Sundays a month. We only got 1 Sunday. If we got 2, we got lucky. But,
mhm,
so I wasn't able to be in the church as much as I wanted to, and I felt deep sadness about that. One day, a friend of mine, we were on the phone, and, they said, "I'm not trying to be in your business, but the Lord just told me that you need to go to seminary." And I was like, what?" Life kept happening, and one day I was just like, I felt like I had this moment with God. The sun was shining bright in my apartment, and I just felt like God was calling me to step into that next season. And so that day I went to apply. I went to apply for a school in Georgia, which is Campbell School of Theology, which is where I ended up.
mhm,
And I started another application. I ended up, in Atlanta, and the rest was history, and then it was just that journey of going through seminary and learning and unlearning and, trying to figure out if I was called to, church ministry, pastoral ministry, whether I was called to chaplaincy, or if I wanted to work, in, nonprofit spaces. So just discerning that and being very open to what God was calling me to do. I was a leader in that space, so, that allowed me to just we used to joke about the role that I was in, we called it the pastor of the pastors.
okay,
It was during the pandemic, so it was a very difficult time for everyone. Yeah, and so, you know, did that. I got licensed in 2019. A friend of mine actually called me the day I was getting ready to resign from my last job and said, "Hey, I heard of a job, and it's in Virginia, but I think you'd be perfect for it." And I was like, I remember sitting in my car and being like, "Lord, if you call me to Virginia, I want to go."
mhm,
Applied for the job, got the job. and got ordained, but right before I left, and now I'm, youth and young adult pastor. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
so awesome.
yeah. So that's the career part of it, the big pieces of it. I hope I answered your question.
No, no, you did. You did.
Okay,
You
good.
did for sure. That's
Yeah.
that's so awesome. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Mhm,
How how has the reception been? Because again, you have people who've known you since,
mhm.
again, since we were kids,
Yeah.
and they see you now. Like, how has the reception been? Like, they see the Joya now.
Yeah, that's a great question. Most people were able to make the change, walk with me to this season
Hmm.
of some were not. And we were told to expect that. Um, you know, I've heard a lot of pastors, preachers say that that's just how it goes. People have known you as a friend or known you and it's weird to me to a degree because um I've always been in the church. I've always been the churchy friend, but I
Mm.
think there is something that does happen when you become a minister and then a reverend and a pastor. There are just levels, right? And so there are certain ways that I don't I refuse to allow people to speak to me in particular ways or address me in particular ways. Like, it doesn't make sense for there to be people who are in their 80s who refer to me as Reverend Moore. You know what I'm saying? The least formal that they are with me is like Reverend Joya. That's the
Mhm.
least formal that people are with me. Now, I don't expect my friends to address me like that because that's weird. You know what I mean? Like, I don't but I do expect the respect.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, some people it just and and for me there's no beef or hard feelings. It's just like it just didn't it just it's a part of it. And I think it's like, when you are a preacher, you're still a person.
Mm.
um, and so I think the other piece of it is that can people hold the wide scope of your lived experience, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm still someone who dates, you know what I mean? But, so it's like I'm not like having, you know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
not
No.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm still hoping to have a family and get married and all of that kind of stuff. So I think, like I said, some people um um see me and they're like so proud. They're like, this is my friend. They call me like, Minister Boo or whatever. Like they're like, because it's like there's this closeness that we have, but they want other people that they're introducing me to know, like, don't play in her face. She's a preacher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and then that is very, very beautiful. But I just think, just the transition just wasn't easy for everybody. And we all had to just make some difficult decisions. So
Yeah.
that,
I
yeah.
think that applies to anybody, not just people that work in ministry. I just think we all grow.
Yeah.
Sometimes people can grow with us, and sometimes people go in their own direction, and we have to be okay with that. And I think that's the hard part. I know for me, speaking for me, it's hard for me to let people go,
Yeah.
especially when you're like real, real tight. And so it's like,
Right.
you're going in a separate direction, but you're still trying to hang on. But that can hinder your growth as well because you're trying to
Yes.
hang on to that person that's going into the other direction. My
Yep.
mom always tells me this is she always and she still has to tell me this even at 38 years old. Is season, reason, lifetime.
Mhm.
So I always keep that in the back of my mind. But I just want to say though, Joya, I am just enamored.
Oh my goodness.
I
That's
am like seriously, like for real, like and this is no joke. I'm so honored to know you, and I'm just so grateful that I like I said again, like I said before, it's just such a beautiful thing when you see somebody that you've known since you were a kid.
Or literally, we're children.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And it's like we're now in our late 30s, and it's
Ooh,
like,
you have to add that late on it.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
No, listen. Yes, this year for me is the first, like, adding late. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
but you know
Yeah,
what? COVID took 3 years, so I'm really, like, I mean, I'm not lying about my age, but I'm, like, joking about the fact that I'm really 3 years younger. I'm like, "COVID stole some time. I need my time back." Pray for me. I'm having a hard time, if you can't tell, putting that
listen, well,
on
listen, at least, you
30.
know, at least you got another year. Like I said, we're literally celebrating, we're getting ready for our this is our 20th year high school, so
That is just a testament to the goodness of God.
mhm,
You like, to say you were in high school 20 years, you graduated 20 years ago, it really speaks to how fast time flies.
yes,
Doesn't feel like it when you're experiencing it, but then when you look back, it's like, it's been 20 years? That's
yes.
wild.
And I know it's crazy to say, but I still say that I still feel like I'm supposed to be going to school the next day. And I know that sounds so wild, but I just still feel like I don't know if I've ever, no, I never told you this, but I've posted it a few times on Facebook. I've had dreams about still being in school, but the crazy thing is I'm an adult.
Mhm.
So, but I
You're an
think,
adult going back.
but I think I figured out what it means
Uh-huh.
while I'm having those dreams, and I'll tell you. So like I said, I told you that I did my junior year and senior year at the same time, and I
Mhm.
think what it is because I did miss so much school.
Yeah.
I feel like I think the dreams are like a repressed thing.
Mm,
Like I feel like I feel like I because I miss so much school. I feel like I still have stuff I need to do. I
wow.
think that's what those dreams
Yeah.
are meaning. But I'm no well who's the person that interpreted dreams in the Bible? Daniel.
Don't
Was
get
it
me to
Dan?
line.
I'm trying to think who was it? Who no, it wasn't Daniel, it was
Joseph.
Joseph.
It's
Joseph.
Joseph.
He got a whole play. Joseph and the
Yeah,
Amazing
he
Technicolor
had the coat
Dreamcoat.
and everything. Yeah, that is so funny. It was definitely true.
Oh Lord, I'm talking some Daniel. My daddy gonna get me talking some Daniel.
That's alright, you got there. You got there.
Oh gosh.
So we
Um, so I want to leave. Like I love leaving on a positive note. Is there anything that you would like to say that could encourage somebody or inspire somebody that may be listening or watching?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have been in a season of, realizing that all you really have to do, and I use all loosely, um, but just keep putting one foot in front of the other. That is, God has really just shown me, that we don't have to be at point A and point Z in a short amount of time. Like, go from A to B.
Mm,
And you might think that A to B is 5 steps, but it's really 10. It's cool, right?
mm,
Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Life has a way of rewarding us for our hard work and our diligence and our consistency.
mm,
So, for anybody who may feel like um, you have dreams that have been deferred or that you've fallen down and you don't know how you're gonna get back up. Literally, just get up the next day. Just get up the next day and know or have some type of idea of where you want to go, right? If you want to be better at something, all you need to know is that you want to be better and put one foot in front of the other, right? Find people who support you, who love you. Even if it's just one person, right? Like, go online. There's so many things, so many ways that you can be better. Download books, YouTube, social media. People have really positive platforms. And so Don't give up. That's the message. Don't give up. It may be hard, but I think PJ Morton kind of talks about this in his album Watch the Sun. The
Mm,
point, the sun will come out. The sun will come back out. So one foot in front of the other. Don't give up. That's my message.
I love it. Thank you so much. I need to come hear you speak.
Oh, please do.
I need to figure that out.
Yeah, let me know. I have some dates. I can shoot them over to you.
Yes, please. No, seriously, please do.
I
Please
got
do.
you.
Please
Yes,
do.
yes.
Well,
Thank you.
yes, yes. You're more than welcome, Joya. Thank you so much. I truly, I don't take this lightly. I really not only because VPN stuff, not only as my friend, but I appreciate you and I honor what God is doing through you and how you're inspiring all of us. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It really, truly is my honor and my pleasure. I'm grateful just for the opportunity for us to catch up.
Yes, absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Reverend Joya Moore. So thank you again to Joya for being here on VPN Chat. I definitely appreciate you.
Appreciate you too.
All right, y'all. That's it for VPN Chat, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.